State Treasurer John Chiang was elected as 33rd Treasurer in November 2014. As the state's banker, he oversees trillions of dollars of transactions. He continues his work to stabilize government finances in the most transparent manner and safeguards taxpayer dollars from waste, fraud, and abuse. Please join me in welcoming our treasurer, a man with integrity and vision, John Chiang.
Good morning. It's great to see all of you. Thank you very much. Let me begin by just extending my deepest thanks for incredible work last year. Here in California, we elected a statewide Democratic ticket, and we're making phenomenal progress. I ask all of you to support our incredible chair, John Burton, and our party officials to assist you in making sure, by assisting Dem 2016, to make sure that we have a successful 2016 election cycle. I just want to say I'm so elected to be your state treasurer. I know a lot of people don't say they're all that excited about it, but let me tell you a little bit about what the treasurer does. In these financial positions, it's a little bit challenging to understand what takes place on a daily basis. So I'm your banker. I am California's personal banker. What I do is I try to help California individuals, families, businesses, and government and nonprofits invest, borrow, save, and spend more wisely. If we don't handle our finances well, if we don't build a financial foundation that's the best in this world, we're not going to have the future that we aspire to. So on a daily basis, I invest $63 to $65 billion of your money. I want to protect the security. We don't want to see what happened in 2008, where we lost 25% of the capital. I want to make sure that we provide the liquidity so that you don't have those credit crunches and people lose access to their homes. I want to make sure that we maximize the investment returns. But we know with the Fed policy that you're not getting much in regards to financial returns. It's hard to save for college. It's hard to save for a down payment on a house because of the returns that are today. But as your treasurer, I'm making sure that we have better financial practices because I invest the state's money, I invest counties' monies, cities' monies, and special districts. So as your treasurer, I've been working with all these different elected officials and financial people so that we come up with better practices so that we can maximize return. Why? Because if I can get more money into local cities, I know that we can keep the doors of libraries open, that we can get that soccer field built, that we can have more firefighters, we can have more police. That's why I'm maximizing the returns for local government. In addition, I've been working really aggressive. I mentioned we had low investment returns, but we can borrow money more cheaply. But I have to make the case for California. So in our first month, we reached out to the ratings agencies, and because of the strong action that you have taken over the years, Prop 25, Prop 30, Prop 2, we've enforced and re-enhanced the structure of California's finances. We upgraded our credit rating from A to A+. We still need work to do. We went from 50th, 49th, and then 48th, but I've been able to save you a ton of money. That's why when I was your controller, I issued the IOUs that I had to hold back tax refunds because I didn't want California to do what other states did, other cities. People comparing California to Greece. Look what happened to Detroit. Look what happened to Puerto Rico. Unfortunately, this great city that Dave Jones and I are from, Chicago, you're going to witness some problems next week. Puerto Rico sold their debt last year at 8.82%. When I sold the state's debt 2 months ago, I sold it at 3.27%. Imagine that being your mortgage. So thus far in my 4 months as your state controller, I have saved you $1.79 billion. Imagine, that's 20,000 teachers. That's 15,000 full grants for Cal Grants. That's 5,000 homes for vets. That's the nominal value. And I'm going to continue to make sure that we save money so that we can spend it on the priorities, that we can invest it in California's future. And then I want to thank Betty Yee, Fiona Ma, Jerome Horton, my colleagues in finance and state government. 18 years ago, I started working on the state's finances. I wanted to give it a personal touch. I was the first elected official to make my staff get trained to do the earned income tax credit. Kudos to Governor Brown for pushing a state EITC to help lift the poor out of poverty in the state of California. But let's understand that we're going to have to go to the distance. Why I wanted my staff trained, why we did it for Tony Atkins, why we did Speaker Perez, why we did it for a whole host of others, is because you can have a great program, but somebody has to do the hard work to make sure that you can do the programs, the services that lift people out of poverty. All of us need to come together to fight this battle. And then I'm working on economic development. We've gotten California out of the doldrums. California today leads the United States in regards to the most robust recovery today. We went pre-recession from the world's 8th largest economy to the world's 12th largest economy. Today we are the world's 7th largest economy, and we're going to keep going forward. But we're not going to do it unless we create the jobs. So when you think about the Treasurer's Office, come to us for financial education. But we also do financing. When Governor Brown has a great idea, his staff comes and asks John, can we get the help? Because you can have a great idea, but you have to think funding and financing. Think a job salary, but if you want to go to buy a house and you don't have the $440,000, which is the average, you need a mortgage. We create the mortgages. We create the loans. We create the credit support to try to drive economic activity, to start small businesses, to help the nonprofits in California. And then I'm especially focused on affordable housing. Our young people are leaving the state because they can't afford it. We saw the front page of the LA Times how homelessness has increased 12% in Los Angeles County. Join me in fixing housing. So think about the funding versus the financing. And then one last request. You have heard me before. I am challenging America's corporate board to have more diversity, more women, more people from emerging communities. This year, I upped the request to include members of the LGBT community. If you care about pay equity, if you care about retirement security, if you care about good health plan, you gotta change not only public sector leadership, but private sector leadership. Let me conclude with this. I have a staff member who's my senior finance person. He's Jesuit educated. And he, at one time in his life, had visited Mother Teresa. And he's having a conversation with Mother Teresa. And Mother Teresa gave him this advice. He said to my staff member, what you can do, I cannot do. What I do, you cannot do. But what we can do together is the beautiful work of God. Democrats, working with other Californians, what we can do is to build the most prosperous, successful, inspiring California ever. Thank you very much.